district attorney there made the wrong decision when he decided not to press charges against the officer who shot and killed her daughter. 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow has more, but first, a warning. This story does contain graphic video of the incident itself.
April 9th, right around 11:30 in the morning, sheriff's deputies tried pulling over a car that did not have license plates on Highway 92 in Delta County, but the driver, 26-year-old Paige Pierce, took off.
White SUV. Copy.
Deputies put down spike strips on the road to slow Pierce down.
Get spikes! Get it! We got him!
2 of her tires were flattened. Pierce then pulled into a long dirt driveway. Deputy Nolan Davis pulled in after her. And then this. Deputy Davis fired 8 shots, hitting Pierce 3 times. She died at the scene.
We're required to prove each and every element of a crime beyond a reasonable doubt.
After a 2-month-long review, the Delta County DA on Wednesday determined that the shooting was justified.
Based on the evidence, the people cannot disprove beyond a reasonable doubt that Davis was acting in self-defense, and the district attorney's office.
They cannot disprove that he was acting in self-defense. They cannot disprove that Nolan Davis, sheriff's deputy, was acting in self-defense, and so therefore they will not prosecute. Is there a threshold for probable cause? Preliminary hearing is supposed to find if there's probable cause. You also got the grand jury, right? And then you also have whatever information by leave of court. So, is there probable cause that Nolan Davis could have committed a crime? Well, Paige Pierce is dead. And I don't know if you noticed in the video, but they put the spike strips down and he's sitting there saying, I hope we get that. And then they cut that part out. What happened to that part? What did that cop say here? We'll listen to it again, but he's going to say,
6-year-old Paige Pierce.
I hope we get the motherfucker, but they cut out the motherfucker, and then they're like, yeah, we got him. And he also fucked up and said it was a white SUV. He don't know the difference between, looks like a little Camry or a Neon or some shit. So he can't tell the difference between a little sedan and a SUV.
Took off.
White SUV. Copy.
Deputies put down spike strips on the road to slow Pierce down.
Get spikes! Get it! We got him!
2 of her tires were flattened.
Get him! Get the motherfucker! We got him! We got that motherfucker! And then I wonder, his shock, Nolan Davis's shock when he's going to find out that it wasn't a guy at all. It wasn't a guy at all. I'm going to say she was 26 years old. 26 years old. And it's let's watch it again.
Driveway. Deputy Nolan Davis pulled in after her. And then this. Deputy Davis fired 8 shots, hitting Pierce 3 times. She died at the scene.
We're required to prove each and every element of a crime beyond a reasonable doubt.
After a 2-month-long review, the Delta County DA on Wednesday determined that the shooting was justified.
Okay, he doesn't say that it was justified. He just says that it doesn't disprove self-defense. So I think it's fucked up that they would make the argument that legitimate use of police power is self-defense. The man was just defending himself. The man with the sirens that was chasing somebody in a car was just defending himself. No, he was doing, police officer shit. And, when it comes to, it does seem like it's a harrowing scene. I could see that, perhaps he could have backed off, but, they're driving right towards him, right? With his car. So in a way, he jumps out into the way. And so, that's self-defense. Well, when I jumped in the way of the car, I was, my life was threatened. So I'm inclined to believe that Nolan Davis is, justified in his use of police power, not justified in terms of self-defense. He wasn't just an innocent bystander, reading a book underneath the tree, just minding his own goddamn business. No, he was definitely involved. He inserted himself in the situation. He's driving a vehicle. He's got a gun. He's got ultimate state power. So to act like, well, he was the, He was justified in defending himself. If anything, Paige Pierce was the one that was being threatened. Now, on Nolan Davis's behalf, because you got a 10-step procedure in Colorado. You got a 10-step procedure. This is, if due process is to actually be employed in, Colorado, then every person has to go through these same 10 steps. And I'll get to them in a second. But first, the Paige Pierce thing. What the hell is she doing? What the hell is she up to? Like I said, Nolan Davis should be charged with attempted murder. Or murder. He should be, charged with murder charges. Put class 1, 2, and 3 felony charges on Nolan Davis. He's a police officer. And then take this to a jury trial. What would a jury of his peers say about this? This, if Delta County trusted in their own criminal justice system, then they would put their police officers through the same justice system that everybody else has to go through. A cop will just say, hey, I saw person A steal something, and then that's it. Just their word alone is good enough, right? They're an eyewitness. They witnessed the damn thing. And, if they're good, honorable people with good reputations, and then perhaps, they were correct. So I'm inclined to believe that Nolan Davis, was justified in this situation. But since it didn't go to a jury trial, now I have to just, we'll never fucking know. The world may never know. The reason why it looks justified to me, not just simple fucking self-defense, that's insanity, but a legitimate use of police power. So you have Paige Pierce, who's driving around. She has no license plate. Why is she driving around with no license plate? So they turn on the sirens to pull her over, and then she takes off. When you drive a vehicle, you're putting everybody's life in danger, in some way when you do a high-speed pursuit or a high-speed chase. And why did she take off? Probably because, she was guilty of something. I don't know if they didn't find any meth or anything in her car, but she had meth in her system. She had meth and fentanyl. And then they said that there's 3 chemical compounds of heroin, which I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. And she had 3 drops of heroin in her. Even if that's the case, she's high on meth and fentanyl. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I guess I'll just get right back to this. But even though she was high on fentanyl, and even though, hold on, give me a quick second here. I'm inclined to believe that he is justified. He tried to pull her over legitimately. She takes off. And even, it's not self-defense because he jumps out of the car and it looked like she backed up into a driveway and he wanted to pin her in. But it does look like a legitimate use of police force. The driver was coming towards him, so there might have been an element of him being afraid, but he keeps on shooting even, as she drives past him. So he was wanting to use lethal force for, no license plate. Now, I guess in a way, when you're pulling somebody over and they take off, you have no idea why they're taking off. Do they have a bunch of guns? Do they have a bunch of drugs? Do they have a bunch of, what the hell is she up to? No license plate, high on meth and fentanyl, maybe a drop or 2 of heroin. So the Delta County DA, Seth Ryan, is going to sit there and say that you can't disprove that it wasn't self-defense. Paige Pierce can plead self-defense. So let's assume Paige Pierce pleads self-defense. Can you disprove it? Can you disprove that Paige Pierce was trying to defend herself? She didn't have a license plate. Here you got the cops behind her. She just, she didn't have meth on her, but she just got high, so she's scared. She probably has meth, meth eyes or something. So she takes off, not, worried that she's going to get in trouble for no license plate and being high on meth and all this other stuff. So she wasn't trying to hurt anybody, but just trying to get away. And then when she was pinned in, well, she had to defend herself. I think it's just incredible that these district attorneys and these damn systems, they don't take it to a jury. They don't use their own criminal justice system. Here's the 10 steps. So here's what needs to happen to Nolan Davis, or some variant thereof. An arrest or summons, a bail bond hearing, an advisement of charges, a preliminary hearing, a disposition hearing, an arraignment, a motions hearing, a pretrial readiness conference, a jury trial, and then sentencing. So the jury trial is the end result of that. Just, let's just go straight to a jury trial. Let's see what's going on. Johnny Hurley, the man who killed Johnny Hurley, who is the hero of Arvada, the Good Samaritan hero of Arvada. We're supposed to believe that police officer's perspective, regardless of the objective truth. We're supposed to see it from his vantage point, from his point of view, regardless of the objective truth. So a police officer, they seem to bend over backwards to, look at the police officer as a person, as a human being. So the man who killed Johnny Hurley, who saved Arvada, saved the day, he shot and murdered him. They didn't charge him with shit. Do you think there might be some evidence of probable cause? I bet you if a judge and a prosecutor can't see probable cause, a grand jury could see probable cause. And if you're, wondering about probable cause, if somebody, that's the threshold, right? You got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt and the preponderance of the evidence, and then probable cause is right there on the bottom. So in order to establish probable cause, you have to think that there's a possibility that a crime had occurred or was going to occur. So a possibility that a crime had occurred. There is no license plate. Okay, that's a traffic violation. Evading a police officer and all the arrest and all that stuff. But that's, when it comes to a police officer arresting a person, you're throwing charges at him, you're kidnapping them, you're throwing their body into a pen, and then we're supposed to trust the criminal justice system that you don't even trust. You don't even trust your own criminal justice system. If Delta County truly believed what's good for the goose is good for the gander, if they believe in justice, the rule of law says we all got to obey the law. So, if I'm Nolan Davis, put me on trial. Go ahead. Charge me with attempted murder 1, 2, and 3. He killed a person. There's a dead body. Definitely probable cause has been established that, perhaps a crime has occurred. And, the grand jury thing would be even better, but there's a dead fucking body. You need some evidence. Here's some videotape. Here's some DNA. Here's some pictures. Here's a dead body. Here's a dead body. You think maybe a crime may have been occurred? Who knows? It's probable cause. That's the bottom threshold. You got probable cause. You got probable cause to charge Nolan Davis with a crime. Now, arrest. Maybe you don't have. Maybe you could just summon him. Bail bond hearing. Advisement of charges. Everybody else has to go through these 3 steps. So, right, summons, he goes to court, the bail bond, advisement of charges, and then there's the preliminary hearing. Now, the preliminary hearing is absolutely essential, right? Because Nolan Davis, a police officer, is going through the criminal justice system. Well, of course he's guaranteed a preliminary hearing. Of course he's guaranteed a preliminary hearing and a dispositional hearing and an arraignment and a motions hearing and a pretrial readiness conference and a jury trial. Of course he's guaranteed all 10 steps in sentencing. He's a police officer, so he's actually a person. He's actually a citizen of these United States, so he gets all his rights. In fact, Nolan Davis is so above being a person, we don't even put him through the criminal justice system. The 10-step felony procedure. How about this, Nolan Davis? We'll just go ahead and just set those 10-step felony procedure and put it off to the side. So not even one step. He don't even go through a one-step criminal procedure because the DA, Seth Ryan, is going to bury this damn thing just like they always fucking do when it's their buddies and their friends. Seth Ryan knows that his criminal so-called justice system is just a slaughterhouse, a rocket docket slaughterhouse, a meat grinder. He just fucks people over. If you get a charge in DA Seth Ryan's courthouse, you will get fucked over. Even if it's just speeding, just a tiny little charge, unless you're a cop. And if you're a cop, then you could commit all the crimes all the way up to murder, and he ain't going to do shit. The reason why I think it's important for Seth Ryan, for Seth Ryan to make sure Nolan Davis gets charged and goes through the criminal justice system is that, we the people need to see the evidence. We, the people, need to feel comfortable that the cops are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to do. And like I said in the very beginning, I'm inclined to believe that he was justified. So you get a jury of my peers taking a look at the evidence. They're going to, people are already on the side of the police anyways. So they already have, the advantage. A jury of our peers are going to look at the situation and perhaps, think it was justified or perhaps not. Perhaps they'll think that there's something else that could be done. Either way, Nolan Davis has to think twice before he goes and kills people. Stop fucking murdering people. Stop fucking killing people, Colorado. God damn, there's homicides happening all over the place. And if he's going to be in front of a jury and in front of people and he's going to have to explain his behavior, well, what does that feel like? And, make sure that when he pulls his gun out and, goes to kill another person, he at least thinks twice about it. He's not just some trigger-happy fucking cop on a goddamn death wish, hoping to shoot up anybody and everybody. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if we have to see, Johnny Hurley's killer from his perspective, then we should see from Paige Pierce's perspective, from her vantage point. Did she have a choice? Maybe she thought the police was an imposter. Maybe she didn't know what the hell the guy was up to, and she wasn't trying to hurt him. She was just trying to get away from him. He's the one that jumped out of the car real quick. So it looks like she's trying to run him over, but really she's just driving in the corridor, the little bit of space that she had left. And the Johnny Hurley killer standard is that ignore objective truth. Just look at it from Paige Pierce's perspective. Who cares what the real truth is? Was she afraid? Was she scared for her life? Was this self-defense? I'm not for sure if they should do the lawsuit or not. Probably should do some kind of lawsuit. Yeah. Because again, Nolan Davis has to think twice. He's got to think twice. And like I said, a jury would be sympathetic to Nolan Davis. So him being, put on trial, him having charges, him going through the criminal justice system, there is no sweat off the chin of his chinny chin chin. He is not going to get in trouble. He is not going to get in trouble. Nolan Davis, the deputy who shot and killed Paige Pierce, if he was charged with attempted murder, he would not get in trouble. Probably the preliminary hearing or the disposition hearing, they would, establish something. But frankly, just put it in front of a jury trial immediately. Put it in front of a jury trial immediately. Ask him the tough questions. Why were you pursuing this person? Why did you feel deadly force was necessary? You know that James Holmes killed people. James Holmes killed a lot of innocent people. That King Soopers guy killed innocent people. And they didn't get killed. They didn't get capital punishment. So the judicial system seems to be powerless when it comes to capital punishment, but they'll rubber stamp any capital punishment some lay cop commits out on the streets. It's incredible. So if Seth Ryan truly, trusted in his own criminal justice system, he would put Nolan Ryan in front of a jury. Then he would ask Nolan Davis a whole bunch of tough questions. Nolan Davis would stand up to the tough questions. A jury would, adjudicate them and acquit them and say, you know what, he was doing what he was supposed to do. But instead, we're just supposed to believe that one person from the system covered up another person from the system. And then we, the citizenry, we, the people of Colorado, we're just supposed to trust, oh, well, the system guy covered up for the system guy. And that's just fun and dandy. That's not fair. And that's what due process is, a fair administration. So there you go, Michael Gonzalez, if you're curious about what fucking due process is. Fucking dickhead. Due process is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, yeah, when they murdered my fucking dog, he should have got arrested or summoned. Whoever it was at Troy's Inn. Bail bond hearing, advisement of charges. He should have had to fight for the preliminary hearing and been denied it. Disposition, just fucking rubber stamp. Arraignment, just kind of push him through. Motions hearing. Pre-trial readiness conference, jury trial. Everything that's happening to me is what that motherfucker should have gone through. That's due process, right? A fair administration.